in any schools for that matter, because it had to be from a young age that he's been like this. After all, they said he was a quiet, mild-mannered young man. I mean, most of the time when people do the stuff like that, it starts at a young age. So I'm thinking, you start them young. If they crazy, you need to send them somewhere else.
Well, you can't define everybody as crazy because who's going to define what's sane?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how you can find out, and it's what my people taught me. I mean, and this is maybe where I get into trouble at. What happened to common sense in this country? What are common sense approaches? You hear that statement and that phrase all the time, but I almost want to use a conservative principle where you say you bring it back as closest to the community as possible, where they like to have it stripped down, so to speak. So in a Republican mantra, it takes you want that type of thing you want to bring back to the community. In the neighborhood, if me, Carlton, and Ruben were playing, and all of a sudden we saw Ruben over there playing with his noodle,
you know what?
You know what I'm saying? What are we gonna tell somebody and be like, yo, Ruben's over there playing with his noodle all by himself in pure broad daylight, you know? And a parent would come in. I'm just using a real extreme example, Ruben, or you can say Grizzy was the one that was doing it. But
I mean, whatever.
But I'm just saying, right? He said he was enjoying it. But here's the thing, like, it would be a parent would come in or call another parent and say, hey, I want to let you know I saw your son doing this. I had that situation with one of my sons picking him up from the bus stop one day, and one of the neighbor's kids was walking in the field and was just screaming at the top of his lungs all by himself. To who? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Just in a field. Maybe he had a bad day. He's just getting stuff off his chest, and he was like 11 or 12 years old, but he was just going off. And I said, you know what? That's a little strange. That's called a common sense approach. I didn't say the boy was crazy. I just didn't know what was going on. And I went into his dad, and it's like, hey, I saw your kid over there in the field across from the bus stop. He was just out there yelling and screaming like he was straight up in the sky. You know, you need to, I'm just checking on him, make sure he's okay. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things. You got to be vigilant. Like, when Bush, after 9/11, say, go out and buy everything you want, go out to the movies, go out to the malls, but stay vigilant. In these instances, we have to stay vigilant. You got to be smart. I mean, come on, guys. Audience, if you see your kid outside playing with somebody and your kid, that other kid that just, I don't care what the other parent says, oh, that's my kid, just leave him alone. I don't care. I really don't. Because I'm protecting mine first. I don't care if your feelings are hurt, because your kid is off too. That's the thing.
Well,
that's for me, that's the thing. That mom and that dad, Ruben, knew that kid was off. Now, either they ain't give him the help or they ain't care.
Now, I guess, I'm going to pose out to this. Are these children getting enough love at home?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Either they don't care, or they're not paying attention. And those folks need, it's nothing I can do to get into that home. Mm-hmm. Maybe a platform or some sort like that. But that's what social workers are for. That's what the mental health profession is for. I just, and to tie this into Connecticut, I just think there's so many things, and I was watching, the Obama speech yesterday. There's so many things that could have been done to make it more difficult for this to happen. Not to say that it could have happened. I mean, there's crazy people in the world. It could have happened. But why are we not taking the steps to make it more difficult for it to happen?
So what steps should we take? Do we need to have an armed guard at the school every day?
No. We need to go. Well, for now, yes. Until
every school should have an armed guard?
The statistics are there. I mean, we have the violence that is on television that parents need to monitor, the violence in video games. My kids play Mortal Kombat, but they also know Mortal Kombat is almost cartoonish, and they scared of me. And they know if they try to go out here and do something like that, I will rip their nuts off them.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that whoa is what's wrong with the country, or what's wrong with the parents.
Well, no, I'm just saying you could have used another word.
I can't. I speak how I feel. And that's because if you don't chin check some of these kids, they didn't have a sense of nothing can defeat me.
But see, Jay, let's go back to the same statement. You already know you can't come to that house. Hold on. You can't go into that person's house. No. You know that. But and hold on, Jay, using this platform, you can't go to their house. You, as a parent, know the first thing that's going to come out of their mouth, don't you touch my child. Man, don't you touch, Jay, let me finish. Don't you touch my child. You and I grew up at an age where in the school system, we could catch a beat down from a teacher. From a teacher.
Right.
And then go home and catch another beat down from your parents.
That's right.
Nowadays, you can't touch that child.
You know what he say? I wish a teacher would put my hands on me.
Right. And I tell you like this. Me as a grown man, if I was in the school system, I'm going to tell you like this. One time, me as a one person is greater than the number of students I teach. Exactly. Because I would have to take a kid out.
And we're talking real crazy, and I'm half-heartedly making these statements and stuff like that. But I mean, I really mean what I say, Ruben. When we as parents and we as adults are the protectors of the children, somewhere along the lines in the last, say, since the 80s maybe, these 80s babies, because those are the ones that's out here doing it. These, late 80s, mid 80s babies. Somewhere along the lines, they thought that they are invincible. Nobody's paying attention to me. I'm being bullied. What did you do when you got bullied? When I got bullied, I knocked the bully in his head.
I paid somebody one time.
I got beat up.
You got beat up.
Ruben, you got beat up, man. I'm sorry.
What did you do? You can't. I mean, the lesson here the lesson for me, and y'all can take my advice for whatever you want. I'm just one wannabe comic, a father of three. I don't know nothing. I'm not no professional at this. If you get bullied at school, trust and believe. You catch that bully one good time, I bet you he won't mess with you no more. I bet you catch him one good time in the left testicle.
Or you just tell the principal.
No, I ain't never seen. I had nothing doing it.
The principal can call the parents, but the parents is a piece of crap. They're not going to do anything to deter their kid, who's a piece of crap, from going back to school and doing the same thing.
But it all depends. I would say in my experience, I got bullied by I was a freshman.
Right.
I got put in a sleeper hole by 2 seniors.
Right.
Did you go to sleep?
One person actually I threw up.
Okay.
One had me in a hole and the other close the door and watch. So basically I did what my mother always told me to do. You need to go find somebody in a position of power.
Right.
So
what happened?
I went to the position of power person. I advised them what happened after collaborating with the nurse, because I had to go to the nurse that day because of it. And pretty much I told them who it was, and I didn't get touched anymore that year, because one, they were seniors, and pretty much they told him, if you touch this boy one more time or anybody else, you will not graduate.
He got off light in my book.
Well, that's he may have.
He got off light in my book.
But the thing about it is, there was no more bullying of me.
I get that point, and that's good. That's why I am not in positions to make these decisions, because that kid got off light and that kid's parents got off light.
Well, we're talking about back in the day when
parents need to be responsible for their children. If my kid comes home with something saying that his conduct is detrimental to his ability to learn, that's not only is it a reflection of him, but that's a reflection of me as a father.
Correct.
And so I got some pride in my cojones. You're not gonna go to school and just embarrass me. And what people don't fail to realize is people don't have that same intensity or feel the same way like I do. So in your example, and I totally empathize with it.
Well, I'm pretty sure the parents dealt with them, because it wasn't about me at that point.
No, they need to be handled.
Well, I don't know how they were handled at home.
Right, they need to be handled.
I just know that they never looked at me again.
Somebody call in and tell me the way I'm talking, how you supposed to deal with these kids, is wrong. Somebody just give me a counterpoint to this, because I really strongly, if you don't challenge a child early, if you do not make clear and definitive lines to a child, have you ever challenged me?
No.
There's a reason for
that. Think about it. Think about it. Boy, that's going to be a quick no.
Yeah. And that develops a line of respect. He's the most respectful person I know. Yeah, that develops a line of respect, and those it messes for people who does for the kids who done things to like that to you. Or I got bullied a little bit. I got put in a figure 4 after playing a picking up and running game. But Jane Jackson put me in a figure 4. Yeah, Buddy put me in a figure 4, and I was scared to go to catch the bus the next day, until one of my uncles found out that I walked to school instead of catching the bus. And he was like, "Yo, why you ain't catch the bus when I came? I walk him back up the street." And I was like, and he knew the kid in the neighborhood. He was like, "Who is it?" He said, "Lamar, you gotta handle that. You gotta handle that. However it go down, you gotta handle that." Now that might not have been the right thing. It might not have been the wrong thing, but I can tell you this: he ain't challenged me no more.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Some people. That theory can go left or right.
Yeah, but I think we're worried about the kids who are not challenged and
still off.
Yeah, I mean,
they still off. Let's call it what it is.
A lot of it is okay, Johnny, it'll be okay tomorrow, and that's it.
I call him timeout Timmons, because that's what happened. He probably was a timeout Timid.
Yeah, and I would never sit here and say, well, you need to raise your kid this way, you need to raise your kid that way.
I will tell you.
That's not my place, because one, I don't have any children, and two, I'm not going to tell you what you do in your house. That's your business until it affects me.
Yeah, exactly.
When it affects me, we have a completely different situation.
That's a great point.
But, it comes down to, honestly, some of these kids are getting either too much love or not enough. Mm-hmm. And, as parents.
It's never too much, bro.
Well, it can be.
We all go with that.
But, I mean, you just have to really take a look and really look and make sure that you've done your best to raise your kid the right way. And if you say you've done that and it shows, then yeah. However, if you say you've done that and then he goes and murders 20 people, then
you didn't do your job.
You
failed.
You need some help.
And she and the mother, and I think the father was dead too.
No, the father's alive.
He didn't try to kill
the mother. They don't live together.
So he didn't try to kill the father. He's only
because the father won't dare.
Really?
That may have been.
They were separated. I thought it was a broken home.
Well, yeah, they were separated. But he took care of mom first, then went to school for whatever reason and took care of little kids. Which I personally have an issue with taking care of little kids, because it's one thing. No, there is no one thing. Little kids are little kids. They can't do anything.
Life is a life.
Well, but you're special when you talk about little children.
Right. I agree, but I just want to make sure we clarify that each life is special.
Yeah.
I mean, are you pro-choice or are you pro-abortion?
I'm pro-choice.
I mean, the dude went.
You can't have one or the other.
Well, see,
we'll talk about that in another show.
The dude went from being a murderer to a natural selection.
Right.
And very quickly, unfortunately.
Right.
But it is what it is. All I can say is we need to find a way as a country, as a world, to sit here and make sure we give the kids enough love and enough understanding to know, hey, you don't have to go out and do crazy stuff. You don't have to go out here and become natural selection. You don't have to do that. You can sit here and just be cool in a gang and enjoy your life and enjoy whatever, whether it's by yourself or with one woman, with 24 women, or with a dude. It doesn't really matter. It's just fact that you need to be able to stand up for yourself and live your life the way you should without having to mess with everybody else's.
I don't know how it is for other people, but of course these horrific events occur all the time, and you alive, you ever say you ain't thinking about doing those things. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you've come to the conclusion like one day I'm mad at my boss, I'm gonna do something to him, but then something kicks in your brain well. You think about the consequence. I know I haven't thought about things plenty of times to do, but at the end of the day, I don't want to go to jail, and I love myself too much to kill myself.
And everybody's had their quote unquote falling down moment where you just want to go and shoot up a whole bunch of
people.
My
wife hasn't had that moment yet. She's had that moment.
Most people, and most people, when you do that, they kick back in reality. It's those people that don't kick back into reality that you need to look for.
Yeah, but when it's all said and done, we as people need to find a way to eliminate, or not even, eliminate the stupidity that happens, because what happened on Friday was insane, stupid, and unnecessary.
Sad.
And very sad.
What makes
we
it
need
sad
to do our best to make it so it doesn't happen again.
You know what makes it so sad? It was totally, almost, we could, I won't say it's totally unavoidable, but we as a people could have done a better job to prevent it. Like the NRA, ironically enough, the NRA was silent on this. No statement, nothing.
Of course they're going to. We're talking guns.
Yeah, news outlets were always trying. Because, of course, the first thing when something like this happens is we want to go to the anti-gun thing. I think about the congresswoman out in Arizona the Colorado situation, the Batman and the Colorado situation. You know, guns the first thing that come up because guns kill people. People kill people too, but guns help.
We have to understand the Colorado thing was a little bit of a different situation because the dude pretty much bombed his house, his apartment. He was a different kind of person.
He was a Ted Kaczynski type of dude.
You set up a bomb so people open the door, blows up your apartment. Get out of here, man. You special. That's a special situation.
And to do this to 6 and 7 year olds,
I do special.
I remember when my sons were all that age.
I do. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
sorry. I never did, even in those times, had to sit there and think about or worry about what would happen to them in school. But the more these events happen, the more I have to think about it, and the more I want to, of course, have that conversation with my sons and prep them and let them know first. I think common sense will get you a lot far. When you see something wrong, you got to react to it. You can't just sit there and be stuck for a moment. You know, you know, it's a shame that you have to give your kids like survivalist type lessons that I remember at the what was it, the 92 show back at the Coliseum. I saw a dude bleed like a fish after getting shot, and natural instincts is, of course, kick in. But I got to tell this to 11 and 12-year-olds, and we never had this conversation, have we?
Nope.
No, I just tell you just have common sense. You know what I'm saying? But it's bad that we have to, because I think back to like today, and I take back to like today, what the first half time they had to go to school. How does teachers deal with this, counselors, stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna end this before we go and take one more break, go into rants. You know, it's very important for everyone to love their kids. I wish I had kids of my own. You know, love your kids. Let your kids know you love them. You know, you might hug them. They might look at you weird, but do it anyway.
Yeah, they do.
You know, but more importantly, I think we need to give a prayer and a blessing to those teachers who save their kids.
Yeah.
There were a couple teachers who gave their lives up for their children.
Yeah.
I think one of them stuck the kids in the bathroom, and the dude came in and said, "Where the kids?" She was like, "They're in the gym." He gunned her down and rolled out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but she saved her kids because she was smart enough to put them in the bathroom, told them to be quiet, and I'll handle it. But you know, we just gotta send a special prayer out for those families and those kids
and those families.
You know, even the kids who's still around, because everybody has a really, really hard way to roll right now.
Country is messed up.
Yeah, man. You know, and all we can do is do what we got to do. We need to make sure our own personal siblings and children are okay, and make sure their mental state is good. Love them, because if you love them, they'll never leave you.
Or if they see somebody like that, just do like powder did on. Just put some powder on your hands.
There you go.
And just smack them right across the face and be like, you ain't got no sense.
Or call somebody.
Call somebody.
Call
there
professional.
You go. We got all spectrum. We got all the answers here at the Ain't No Half Steppin'. Thank you.
All right. We're going to take our one last break. Apologize again for the internet. We're going to listen to some Snoop Dogg and stuff. Some more Run DMC. We like Run DMC Christmas. Yeah, you ain't know it?
Yeah,
sweet.
But
it's coming to your city.
But yeah, so we'll be back in a few for some rants and stuff, and we'll be out.